Rahul Bajaj, the grandson of Jamnalal Bajaj, passed away yesterday at the age of 83. Modi haters and the left liberal establishment are remembering him as the only man who had the spine to stand up to the Modi government. They call him fearless and courageous. However, they fail to understand that Bajaj was everything that was wrong with India. He always prioritized his own interests above all. Hi and welcome to TFI English, the national socio-political analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Apurva, and if you haven't subscribed to the TFI English yet, please hit the subscribe button and also click on the bell icon to receive all the recent updates. Coming back to the story, I will talk about Rahul Bajaj, the license era businessman whose sense of entitlement knew no bounds. Let's begin. Rahul Bajaj belonged to a very prominent industrialist family that had roots in the pre-independence era and a very close association with the Indian National Congress. He inherited the Bajaj group from his father Kamal Nayan Bajaj and expanded its presence by utilizing the family's association with the Gandhi family. In the pre-liberalization era, the names associated with India's capitalist class were Tata, Birla and Bajaj. Although Tata was relatively global in its outlook and aimed to build world-class companies, most of the other business houses utilized the highly protected environment to make the products that the consumers were forced to buy given the lack of alternatives, and Bajaj Group was one of them. After the scion of the Bajaj family passed away, the commentariat opposed to the Modi government started sharing his December 2019 video of ET Awards, in which the veteran industrialist said, "You're doing good work, but despite that, we don't have the confidence that you will appreciate if we criticize you openly." The anger of Rahul Bajaj towards the BJP was very obvious given the ties between the Bajaj family and the Nehru Gandhi family. The two families are so close that Rahul Bajaj named his elder son Rajiv Bajaj after Rajiv Gandhi, while Rahul Gandhi was named after the veteran industrialist. Rahul Bajaj often bragged that the name Rahul was given by no other than Jawaharlal Nehru. While he vented anger towards PM Modi and Amit Shah, his affection and praise for Rahul Gandhi was very public, as shown in the video. In 1991, when the PV Narasimha Rao government was dismantling the license quota Raj to shackle the foundations of a socialist economy in India, few industrialists opposed it, and this group was led by Bajaj. The popular perception about industrialists in today's India is that they support privatization and minimization of entry barriers. But there had been a time not long ago when many industrial houses vehemently opposed economic liberalization. If an industrial house has an unsaid monopoly in a particular market and the government is minimizing the entry barriers to ensure more domestic and international players can enter the market, the monopolist is going to oppose it. And this is exactly what many business houses like Parle Group, Bajaj Group, Tata Group did in the early 1900s when the Rao government was taking steps to liberalize the Indian economy. Bajaj Group, which sold substandard scooters to Indians for decades, was more open and accused the Rao government of destroying the Indian economy. These facts are well documented in the media and academia as well as by scholars like Vinay Sitapati. In the last 3 decades, the market share of Bajaj Group, Parle Group, Tata Group and many other industrial houses which were opposed to economic liberalization has consistently fallen. Thanks to the entry of new players, they were selling substandard products to Indian consumers given their monopoly, and when the new players entered, the companies were cornered. 3 decades ago, Bajaj had a near monopoly in two-wheelers, while today it is in the third place after Hero and Honda. Although the company adapted to increasing competition, it still could not maintain its leadership position, and now it is left with less than 20% of the market share. With the entry of foreign players as well as more efficient domestic players, all that is left of Bajaj scooters is the nostalgia of Chetak's tilt and start. Today, when the Modi government is completing the task left by the Rao government by dismantling the socialist pillars, business houses like Bajaj Group and Parle Group are not happy. Born, bred and grown with the facade of secular ideals and having enjoyed the monopoly for decades under the socialist economy, these industrial houses and their scions like Rahul Bajaj threw the Modi government under the bus whenever they got a chance. The new age companies of the Bajaj Group like Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Finserv are doing exceptionally well. Recently, the market valuation of the group hit $100 billion, but 80% of that comes from financial services and not the legacy business. That was Bajaj Auto and Bajaj Electricals that sold low quality goods to Indian consumers.